have Detective Natasha Richardson, who's been on Good Morning Miramar before, so we're so excited to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, for those of our audience who maybe don't recognize you or haven't tuned into any of your past episodes, just tell us a little bit about what you do here for our police department.
Okay, I'm Detective Natasha Richardson. I actually work for the Miramar Police Department as a background investigator in personnel and recruiting.
Yes, wonderful. So we're so excited to have her here today to talk about Memorial Day safety. So Memorial Day weekend is to a lot of people the kickoff to summer, but it's also a time of year where we honor our fallen veterans or fallen soldiers who went out and served our country. So, definitely we're telling everyone to take time to recognize and remember those who died for this nation.
Absolutely. A lot of people kind of forget about what Memorial Day stands for, and that is for our fallen veterans, all of our veterans, all of our military that lost their lives in the line of duty. And so we take time to remember them. I know a lot of people see it as, the kickoff to summer and vacation and swimming and things like that. But it is an important thing to remember because a lot of people lost their lives and gave their lives to help save this country.
Absolutely. So definitely for families out there who have lost loved ones, we appreciate you and your family's sacrifice and service to this nation. But, as we mentioned, since people kind of misconstrue the idea of Memorial Day and think it's the kickoff to summer and, we're just going to have a good time and get ready for summer vacation, this is actually a holiday where, there's a lot of fatalities because, people are probably making the best decisions, while they're trying to enjoy their time and enjoy their weekend. So I wanted to bring you on today just so that we could have a conversation and so that our residents and people watching our show could hear about ways they can stay safe this Memorial Day.
Absolutely. It's very important, just like most holidays. One of the ways we can talk about is driving.
Yes.
Yes, there are a lot of safe drivers out there. However, there are some drivers that are not so safe. And so you actually have to be a safe driver and also be a reactive driver to the ones that are not so safe. So there's a few driving safety tips that we can discuss. When you're going out, especially if you're taking a road trip, a lot of families, end of summer, a lot of students off for college, they're going to take a trip somewhere, driving. Always be alert, be awake, don't drive tired. If you're tired, pull over somewhere, stay at a hotel or stay at a friend's house until you're well rested. No drinking. If you're going to go to a lot of these parties and social events,
right,
it's very, very important that you have a designated driver, someone that does not drink at all, or Uber. All of these ride lift services you can try, to avoid so you can have a good time and arrive home safely.
Absolutely. And to that point, especially about driving tired, I've read previously that, sometimes driving tired can be just as bad, if not worse, than driving intoxicated. Both
absolutely
no-nos, but I definitely want to make that distinction because I think people feel like, well, I haven't been drinking, I'm just a little bit tired, I can drive. You can't.
No, you don't feel yourself falling asleep a lot of times. Your mind wanders when you're tired, and then the next thing you know, you're sleeping, but
right,
it's pretty scary.
Definitely very scary, to be behind the wheel in that type of environment. So what else?
Okay. Other things that you have to be aware of: all the drivers around you. Slow down, don't speed, be at least 2 or 3 car lengths behind the person in front of you, especially if you're on a highway. Be aware of the cars behind you, beside you, and in front of you, because if they stop, if they swerve, if they're trying to come over into your lane, you have to be aware of all of your surroundings when you're driving. Don't follow too closely. Like I said, with the cars behind you, plenty of room. And I know some people will cut in front of you. Just adjust yourself accordingly. If you're tired, make stops. Like I said, stop at a hotel, stop and switch drivers if there's someone else that hasn't been drinking, and just be completely safe until you get home. If it's raining, drive slow and cautiously. Put your headlights on. It's very important. Headlights on whenever it's raining. It's the law as well. But a lot of people can't see in the rain. You can't stop. Sometimes you'll slide. So things like that.
And also, this weekend scheduled a lot of rain.
Yes.
With this tropical depression that it looks like it's coming this way. So we're definitely encouraging everyone, if you're still going to insist on going out for Memorial Day weekend, to really, pay attention to the weather.
Rain is a huge factor when it comes to driving accidents and things like that. There's more accidents when it's raining, especially during a holiday, because people are not really paying attention and
They're
things like that. They're rushing to get someplace. And so it's just, we want everyone to have a good time, but arrive safely, whether you're arriving to your event safely or arriving home safely. Just be a little bit more cautious whenever you're out there. Just let someone know where you're going. Always, if you're traveling by yourself, let someone know when you're leaving, what time you're expected to be at your destination.
Yeah.
And let them know exactly where you're going. Give them the address, the name, whatever it is, so that they can follow up to make sure that you've arrived safely.
Absolutely.
And even when you're leaving your event, let someone know, call them when you get home, just so people know that you're home safe.
Yeah. I also want to talk about texting and driving.
Very good topic.
Yeah.
Yes. Do not text. Don't even pick up your phone. A lot of vehicles, current vehicles, all have the Bluetooth, so they can talk on the Bluetooth. Don't even pick up your phone to answer it. If you can answer it via your steering wheel, that's the safest way, because you're still focusing on where you're going.
Absolutely.
Texting, no, you can wait. They can wait. If somebody texts you, they can wait until you are stopped safely at home or at your destination, and then you can follow up on your text messages. There is not one text message that will be important enough for you to take that chance to text back while you're driving. Absolutely. Because the 1 second you take your eyes off the wheel, that car in front of you could stop short for something that you can't see. Even if, even when you're not texting and driving, most people have been in a situation where the car in front of them just all of a sudden stopped.
Yeah, and you can't do anything.
Right. And so you have to that's why you have to leave a certain distance behind and always be aware of what you're doing. Yes.
And also, to the point of texting, I know that a lot of people have iPhones, and iPhone actually has the capability to, when you're driving, to send an automated message to someone if they text you to say, I'm in the car right now. I'll reach out to you when I'm at my destination. Something like that. I think you can customize it. But if you don't have that feature, and that's something they would like to look into.
Yes, you could look into that too, or you can just wait. Honestly, it's any kind of distraction with the phone is going to, especially on a holiday weekend with there are more people out on the roads, and some unsafe drivers. It's better just to leave your phone, don't even look at it, and just let them wait until you can stop safely.
One thing I always tell people is that, we live in an age where people believe that they have to have access to you at all times.
Yes.
Before cell phones or even like beepers or something like that, you can, if someone wanted to reach you, they had to wait till you were home.
Leave a message on your answering machine.
So that you could get back to them. But
Yes.
now with cell phones, people think that you have to respond to them
right away.
But you don't. And I think that we need to get out of that mentality.
Absolutely.
That people have to have access to us at all times, because if you're driving, that's more important for you and for those around you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely. Also, we talk about making sure your car is ready. Checking your tire pressure, checking to make sure that you have, your oil change, that your brakes are great, your tires are great, having emergency supplies in your car. Can you talk about some of that?
Very important, especially for road trips. South Florida, Florida as a whole, it's a very long state to drive through. And there's a lot of patches through Florida where there's nothing but vegetation. There's no lights, there's no buildings. And so you got to make sure that your car is up to par before you make a road trip. Tires, a lot of people have blowouts on the side of the road. Make sure that you have some sort of emergency contact, or, like AAA or something, some road safety hazard that can come and help you. Like I said, it's very important to let people know where you're going to be. Make sure your cell phones, if you have an emergency and you pull over, that they are charged so you can make calls. And safety hazards, flares, spare tires, everything is good to help you get to your destination safely. It's very, very important. Gas, make sure you fill up.
Yes.
If you come down, try not to go less than a quarter tank before you refill, so that you make sure that you have gas to get you to your destination as well. And yes, I've known friends, and it's happened often where they've run out of gas and called, and they're like, I didn't realize. All these are the things that you have to make sure that it's important that you have to keep safe.
I think gas, and really quick, we're going to go to commercial break, but gas is one of those things, like if you run out of gas, it's like,
what do?
You didn't see that the car was telling you to get gas, but that's like another
Well, a lot
topic.
of people are like, oh, I can just make it, and
You
they underestimate it.
So we're going to take a quick break. Thank you so much
No
for
problem.
going over these driving safety tips, and we're going to go over some grilling and water safety tips next, so be sure to stay tuned for that. We are back with more Memorial Day weekend safety tips with Detective Natasha Richardson from our Miramar Police Department. So we just wrapped up talking about driving safety and the importance of that. So if you missed that part of the segment, just rewind.
A very
check that
important
out,
part of the
that's
segment.
very important.
Yes.
But now we're going to get into grilling and water safety because, South Florida, outdoors, there's pools, beaches, and what do you need when you go to the pool or the beach? Food, and it's usually grilling.
Yes.
So we want to talk about some safety tips regarding that. So first, grilling safety. Let's talk about
grilling. Although I don't grill,
that.
however, being an officer, we unfortunately have to, respond to a lot of emergencies in reference to grills. Always supervise your barbecue grill. Depending on the different grills, a fire can start, the grill can overheat, things will burn. Never, ever, ever, ever grill indoors or even on a patio, a small patio where the fumes and everything's going to go inside. You will cause toxic fumes to go inside of your house and may cause some sort of medical issues and concerns. Make sure everyone is away from the grill, your pets, your children, so many burns and emergencies that happen, accidents, the grill can be toppled over. We've had unfortunate accidents with that. So always just be very, very safe and secure with your grill. Keep the grill outside in a very clear, open, well ventilated. Even if you have a closed-in patio, that's not ventilation enough. You need to be outside, have it out of the enclosed area so that all the fumes and things can go out in the air. Keep it away from any trees, brushes, bushes, things like that. Although this weekend is pretty wet and it's going to be pretty wet, anything dry will catch on fire quickly.
Yeah.
So you have to be very, very careful of that. For yourself, if you're the grill master, which I am not, use long-handled tools. Keep yourself safe. You never know. These smaller tools, sometimes, you might end up burning your hand, and that causes, these grills are really hot. And just make sure you wear long-handled tools. If you have to wear gloves to be safe, that's also, long sleeves, just to make sure that nothing splashes up, depending on the grill that you have, in order for you to be safe. The biggest thing, if you still grill with charcoal, especially on the beaches and picnics, everybody uses charcoals because you're not going to reel your gas grill or anything over there. Be very careful with the lighter fluid. We've had, unfortunately, so many fires and things where they pour the lighter fluid too much and it blows up. The fire blows up in your face. And so you got to be very careful when it comes to charcoal and the lighter fluid. And just follow the instructions. A lot of people that think they know the grills will just, I don't need to read this. And some grills are different from others, and you always follow and read up on your instructions before you even start grilling. It's very, very important, and for safety reasons.
And just one more tip that I was thinking of when we were talking, you think about grilling and being outside. People obviously sometimes want to have a few drinks and kind of enjoy themselves, but I think that the person who's using the grill probably should wait.
That is a very important fact. Yes, grill all of your food ahead of time before you partake in any alcoholic beverages. It's also it'll keep things very safe. It'll keep you alert and more aware of what you're doing.
Yeah,
Plus, you don't want to burn the food.
No, and then you might burn the food and everyone will be upset. So that's some of our grilling tips, but water safety, especially, South Florida, children, there's pools, there's beaches, there's everything. So we want to talk about water safety. Water safety should be practiced throughout the year, especially in South Florida, because for the most part of the year, someone's going to be in the water somewhere, whether it's your pool, whether it's near a lake. Most people live near lakes, whether it's the beach. Water safety should be practiced on a regular basis. If you have young children and a pool, please have your pool fenced off. A lot of people feel that if they have their doors locked, then their children are safe. Children are smart these days. They'll figure out how to unlock the door. How to turn the alarm off.
They'll push the chair up and unhook it. They watch you when they think they're not. And so you have to be that much more careful when it comes to children. So if you have a pool fence, even if they get out, it'll be harder for them to get near the water if you have a secured pool fence around. And that also is if you have a lake, if you live near a lake, if you're able to, with your association, put a fence, just a security fence, just so your child cannot get near the lake. Children get out somehow, some way, even if you just turn your back if you're going, and they'll get out really quick. And so a lot of times, unfortunately, they love the water and they will go, and smaller children are not aware of the fact that they may not be able to swim.
Right.
They see the water and that's where they want to go. So it's very, very important. Adults, if you're going to go to the beach or the local pool or your pool, supervise your children. Yes. Always have someone watching your children if you're not able to, so that they can see and where your children. Even if you're able to just be in the water with them, that's one step better than just watching them
from afar.
Yes. Make sure they have the proper flotation devices, and if you're going on a boat, make sure everyone's wearing a life jacket, and the adults included. You have to be, you never know. Even if you have the safest boat driver, you don't know if there's someone unsafe that's going to come by and cause an accident. Always have your life jackets and flotation devices.
Definitely. And to that point, especially like boating and being near the ocean, I heard of a tragedy just a few years ago where a young lady, went out Memorial Day weekend boating, and unfortunately she was in an accident where she didn't make it. So you just have to be so alert, especially when you're going to places where kind of like boats really all gather together and people kind of hang out, because unfortunately not everyone is going to follow these safety tips, and people are going to drink and drive the boats, or they're going to, do stupid things, and you don't want to be caught up in a situation where
Absolutely.
unfortunately, you might put yourself or your loved ones in danger.
In danger. Yes, a lot of people go out and they want to be out on their boats and enjoy it with their families and things like that. And then you have some people that are, maybe they just rented a boat and they don't know and practice water safety and watercraft safety. And they're speeding and showing off, and in their minds they're having a good time, but they're not aware of all the other safety
people.
rules and the other people and things like that. And unfortunately, drinking is a factor as well. Just like you shouldn't drink and drive, you shouldn't drink and drive a boat.
Or any watercraft.
Any jet skis or anything like that. You have to be responsible, absolutely responsible. Adults, please, please, please be responsible, especially for yourself and for your children, or the rest of your family. I can't stress it enough. And unfortunately, every year there's always some sort of tragedy, and it's terrible.
Yeah, so definitely, keep in mind these tips. Another thing, especially when someone's in trouble, our first instinct is to jump in. Save them ourselves. But, if you don't have rescue equipment, maybe by your pool, like a floaty or something to pull someone out, you should invest in that, because it's always recommended to reach or throw something to someone.
That's a very, very good point. Very good point. Even our rescue teams have things that they throw out for people to grab onto or to keep them afloat before they can swim out and help them. There are some people, unfortunately, who have children, go to the beach, and they themselves do not know how to swim.
Wow.
Adults should take swimming lessons and give their children, younger the better, teach them how to swim, at least to stay afloat or tread water, just so they can be able to help them and save them. And it's sad, but yes, you should have some sort of life preserver or, thing to throw out to your family members if something happens.
Definitely. Now, before we close, I just want you to tell us a little bit about the vacation patrol that City of Miramar offers to our residents.
Well, like you said, Memorial Day is pretty much the beginning of summer for most people. It's a kickoff to summer vacation, kickoff to summer trips, and a lot of people go out of town. Miramar Police Department has what they call a vacation patrol watch. What you basically do is you can call into the Miramar Police Department, or you can go onto MiramarPD.org and fill out the form and request an officer to come by periodically throughout the day, 24 hours a day, to check your house and make sure everything's locked up, there's no break-ins, and make sure that everything is okay. If you have people that are going to be watching your house as well, this is just an added security. It's because, some people will come and they'll check their house, and then the officers work 24/7. So different people different shifts will be able to check your house at different times, not just during the day.
Perfect. So definitely reach out if you're going out of town this weekend. It's not too late.
No, not at all.
Get on the list so that they can make sure to check your property. And we appreciate Miramar Police Department for doing that.
No problem.
For our residents. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. This was very important, so I'm glad I got to speak about it.
Absolutely. So just a reminder, we're live every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Wishing you all a wonderful day. Remember, it's right here in Miramar. Bye-bye.